Massapequa Park, Long Island, a neighborhood defined by its quiet streets, safe corners, and families who had known each other for generations. It was the kind of place where doors were left unlocked and children played in the streets until dusk without a single worry. And right here, on First Avenue, lived a man who blended perfectly into this suburban tapestry. He was a towering, heavily built architectural consultant. Every single morning, he would dress in a worn-out car coat, walk quietly to the station, commute to his office in Manhattan, and return in the evening without drawing an ounce of attention. To his neighbors, he was just Rex Heuermann, an eccentric, quiet family man. But in July 2023, when a fleet of unmarked federal vehicles suddenly barricaded this exact street, the illusion shattered forever. The man they thought was just an ordinary neighbor was unmasked as a ghost that had haunted New York for decades. He was the suspected Long Island serial killer. Between 2023 and 2024, forensic teams spent weeks tearing this property apart. They excavated the backyard, scanned the walls, and dismantled the interior, leading the public to believe that the evidence gathering was complete and the case was securely heading toward a final trial. But in May 2026, the entire narrative was violently upended. A highly classified informant, locked deep inside the Riverhead Correctional Facility, bypassed standard channels to deliver an urgent, terrifying tip directly to the FBI. The informant claimed that Rex Heuermann had only allowed investigators to find what he was willing to sacrifice. The true heart of his darkness was buried far deeper than anyone had looked. Acting on this raw data, federal analysts pulled the original, untouched 1990s civil architectural blueprints of the house. When they ran a comparative spatial analysis, they discovered a catastrophic structural anomaly. The physical square footage of the garage foundation did not match the actual dimensions registered with the city. A massive pocket of space beneath the concrete floor had been intentionally erased from every public record in existence. In the opening week of May 2026, First Avenue was entirely transformed into an active military-style fortress. The federal government pulled a veil of total secrecy over the site, cutting off all public access. As forensic teams calibrated their ground-penetrating radar over the garage floor, the readouts began to behave erratically. 12 feet beneath the surface, the radar wasn't hitting standard Long Island soil or water pipes. It was bouncing off a massive, highly dense shield of reinforced structural steel plates and heavy industrial concrete blocks. A hidden, perfectly engineered subterranean vault was resting right beneath the family vehicle. For 30 grueling hours, hydraulic diamond-tip cutters groaned against the reinforced floorboards until, with a heavy, metallic resonance, the drill bits broke through a solid steel hatch. This wasn't an ordinary cellar or a routine renovation. It was an underground fortress built by a master architect. When the forensic breach team finally cut through the steel lock mechanism and lowered their optical scopes into the pitch-black abyss, the air rushing out of the chamber forced them to immediately step back. The temperature inside this hidden vault was artificially controlled, registered at a permanent, freezing chill, miles lower than the surrounding earth. And as the flashlight beams swept across the narrow room, the true horror became undeniably clear. The entire perimeter was completely lined with heavy-duty acoustic soundproofing foam. Think about the psychological weight of that design. If someone were trapped inside this subterranean vault, screaming for their life, crying out, or desperately pounding against the walls, not a single vibration, not a single whisper of sound would ever reach Rex's wife or children sleeping peacefully just a few feet above in the main house. Rex Heuermann used his decades of professional architectural expertise to design a flawless acoustic vacuum. This wasn't just a hidden storage space. It was a highly organized, systematically insulated, and meticulously planned assembly line for murder. But what the FBI uncovered stacked upon the metal shells of that vault has sent shockwaves through the highest echelons of American law enforcement. They didn't just find standard evidence. They found a meticulously indexed, terrifyingly preserved archive of human trophies. Items, IDs, and digital records that stretch far beyond the known timeline of the Gilgo Beach victims. Cold cases that have been sitting forgotten, gathering dust in New York and New Jersey police files for over 30 years. suddenly found their darkest answers locked inside this concrete tomb. We are breaking this investigation wide open. In part 2 of this Unresolved Truths mega-documentary, we will pull back the curtain on the leaked forensic inventory logs, decoding the contents of over 100 digital storage drives and revealing the identities of the nameless victims whose trophies were hidden in the dark. Type Vault in the comments right now if you are ready for the next phase of this unmasking. Steel your minds, because the true scale of this monster is about to be completely unleashed. Stay tuned.